Welcome back. Now, in Azaadville, Coca-Cola is starting to feel the pressure as businesses in that town have joined a growing boycott movement against companies linked to the support of Israel. In a show of solidarity, many local stores have pulled out products of Coca-Cola and Clover from their shelves, pushing the beverage giant to resort to giving products away for free in a bid to maintain visibility and market share. The question is, has Azaadville set the blueprint for other towns to follow, or will Azaadville be the isolated town with regards to this? Joining me on the phone, I'd like to welcome a community activist from the town, Shabier Dabhelia. Shabier, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and greetings to all your listeners as well.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. No, it's an absolute pleasure. Shabier, obviously the start of the genocide in Gaza in October the 7th, 2023 had prompted a lot of people to go ahead and stay away from Coca-Cola and Clover products. But when did Azaadville draw the line and say, we are not going to be stocking any of these products?
So obviously, as we know, consumers all over the world itself has been conscientized in terms of the genocidal activity perpetrated on brothers in Gaza. And, we've been chatting about it for a long time. And community activists decided, look, enough is enough. And a time did come where we said, all right, let's draw up a timeline and see exactly how we're going to enforce or how we're going to encourage people to actually join this boycott.
Shabier, obviously Azaadville, it's not the biggest of towns, but of course it's a very close-knit community. Coca-Cola and Clover products have become part and parcel of many people's lives there. How were the store owners able to convince themselves that even though we're removing a product which has historically generated a lot of income for them, that this was going to have to be done, and in a way done, which would not hurt these respective stores?
Yes, so we are quite aware in terms of the turnover which Coca-Cola and Clover would produce and the profitability of various shops and various businesses in the area. Hence, our idea was to try and take it step by step, and we had meetings amongst ourselves in the strategic way, mapping the way forward. And then, of course, we then consulted with the shopkeepers, we consulted with the businesses, and we then gave them more or less, or we discussed and decided that Azaadville will be the month time that the campaign has started. So we're not going hard and fast in terms of the businesses, but rather in terms of our approach. So you find that in terms of our approach, we have a three-step campaign, and one of it is, of course, the boycott, but more than the boycott is raising awareness amongst the consumers so that we ensure that consumers start using less of the Coke brand and less of the Clover brand.
You speak of the consumer. It takes a long time for a consumer to get used to a product not being on the shelves and the fridge. Has the Azaadville community bought into the fact that they are no longer Coca-Cola and Clover products, and on that basis they've said, this is a good move and we are supporting it 100%?
Inshallah, look, we always make dua that, consumers would come to that realization. And fortunately, this Azaadville is predominantly a Muslim area, and lots of people have been consuming the product unwittingly, not identifying their need or their wants, rather in terms of beverages and in terms of their, cooked products at home, baking and so on. And we conscientized them to say, look, realize that, every purchase of this particular product is essentially buying arms and ammunition for furthering the genocide in Palestine and genocide in Gaza. So at the same time, we managed to get other business people also involved. And, people are beginning to search for alternatives. Alhamdulillah, lots of stores are beginning to respond to us and indicate to us that, look, not much has the businesses haven't flattened as such, but definitely they're looking at alternative products currently.
Shabier, and of course, with this happening, it allows for there to be more local products, especially products that are maybe from the community of Azaadville or surrounding areas. And that's a good thing, isn't it? Because it allows this, we'd say the local is lekker brand. This allows for it to happen, doesn't it? This ability for the actual people of the community to help contribute towards the economy, not only from a buying power, but also that of a selling power.
No, absolutely. Look, there's always gaps in the market, but one is not aware, one is not necessarily conscientized about the gaps in the market. And, once people became aware that, look, once we need to start boycotting certain products, the very next question would have been about, from the consumer's point of view, is that what next, what alternatives do we have in the market? And hence, like I'm saying, there's a team of business people going around and trying to source similar products from different vendors. And of course, it will generate quite a bit in terms of the local economy and local manufacturers and local producers. Simple things like ghee, for example, which is a commodity in the Muslim areas or in the Indian areas as such. Ghee is one of the bigger products which is in high demand. And yes, people have taken upon themselves to say, look, can we not produce our own brand of ghee, or is there alternatives available on the market? So there's just an example of one particular product. We have obviously other smaller manufacturers of, fizzy drinks as well. Inshallah, I hope that they'll also come to the market and start to create and invent their own economic stream at this point in time, inshallah.
Shabier, I'm going to humor you here, and I'm sure you get told this a number of times, that it's not just Azaadville, it's Azaadville Sharif, because of the ulama that, of course, come from that specific town, alhamdulillah. Is Azaadville Sharif leading in terms of its example that has been set with regards to the stance that has been taken?
So look, your point of view is appreciated, really. But, there's no way that Azaadville can take accolades to this, and we're not in competition to anyone but ourselves. So, there's a responsive team that is behind this, like I indicated, and you've indicated that we are just activists on the ground, but we are working as a collective. The ulama are, of course, part of this particular initiative, and they've given us certain strategies and certain techniques, which are to be used in terms of trying to achieve our goals. And one of the techniques is, of course, or one of the advices we get is in terms of our righteous deeds as well, while we abstaining from, Coke and Clover products, which is basically a need, sometimes, overlaid by lots of greed as well with a number of people that actually consume the product. But one of the actions is, of course, in terms of our salah, in terms of our good deeds, our daily charities, our constant dua and supplication for the people of Gaza. So it's a well-balanced initiative, not only limited to boycott. So we have other mechanisms as well and other groups as well, which are driving it at different strategic angles, inshallah. So yeah, inshallah, I hope we got most of it covered. And, we can't single out exactly that Azaadville is leading this process. Like I indicate, we're not in competition to anyone, but alhamdulillah, we'll appreciate it if lots of other towns, lots of other consumers become increasingly aware of the plight. So we can create the awareness. We can definitely create an awareness just by, calling on a boycott just for these two products. And alhamdulillah, it seems to be working well.
And that leads me to the final question, Shabier. Is there a hope that what Azaadville has done can filter across the various communities in not just Gauteng, but across South Africa?
I think the duas and the social media coverage plays a greater role in it, and Allah Ta'ala will accept whatever efforts are made by anyone, anywhere, inshallah, I think it may have sparked up in Azaadville, but like I said, it's a campaign that has been, earmarked by the BDS over the years, and now it has come to Azaadville to reignite on this particular occasion. We've done so, alhamdulillah. And I must indicate that we've, since it started, we've had multiple calls from various other organizations and various individuals in various communities from around South Africa. So, alhamdulillah, I think the initiatives would work, and every cent spared in terms of profitability for the two products alone amounts up to a couple of millions. And, by a calculated guess, there's less bullets and less ammunition to destroy the civilians and the good citizens of Gaza.
Shabier, absolute pleasure having you on. Shukran so much for joining us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you and all your listeners.
I mean, that's a Shabier Dabhelia, community activist based in Azaadville. After the break, we're going to be sticking with the genocide in Gaza. Of course, the UN warning that fuel shortages in the enclave has reached critical levels. I'm going to be speaking with the World Health Organization after this break.